Hello and welcome to another episode of Redacted. It is Wednesday, November 4th, 2015. Hope everybody is doing well. I am joined by Twerk17 and BoredGamer. How are you
What's
guys
up, guys? Doing well.
Yeah,
You?
have we actually started this time, Saurus, or is this another joke?
Yeah, is this another joke, huh?
This is another joke,
all kinds of
Cyrus.
jokes this morning.
The boy that called Redacted start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
All
good.
of them.
I'm good.
He played a joke on us earlier. I started turning on my microphone.
Rude.
Yeah.
Right? There we go. Fix my camera so I'm not so glow in the darky.
How close to my face is.
Look at that.
Sorry, guys. Deal
That's
with
okay.
it.
No, that's okay. You know, it's all right. It's all right. So, I guess we'll start with Twerk. What have you been up to?
So obviously Mondays are my H1Z1 days. So
Yep.
played a little bit of H1Z1 on Monday. And something kind of funny happened. So,
It's
just
so
doing
funny.
it was really funny. So we're doing our normal thing, and we're just kind of shit talking, and BoredGamer was getting loud with me.
It's
He was getting loud with me. So I pointed my gun at him, and I accidentally clicked, and I swear it was an accident. I shot him right in the fucking head. It was the worst.
Three times.
Well, it's an automatic gun. I held onto it
Hold on to it.
because
He
I was
froze.
so
He
surprised.
froze.
I froze. I did. That's actually what happened. Is I froze. I shot him right in the head 3 times. He died. But you know what? After that, we all stood around, and we gave him a proper burial. There was a eulogy. There was all that good stuff. It was.
Oh,
it was,
is this when he was sitting on the ATV that you shot him?
yeah, he was sitting on the ATV, and I started
Oh,
pointing
you
my
just
gun.
did. You just did.
And
You
yeah,
just did. Now he's dead on the ATV. You are a monster.
I am a monster.
Oh,
Velasquez,
But then after that,
donuts around me. It was lovely. It
yeah,
was beautiful.
yeah. Then Velasquez on the ATV, and it's like, all right, see ya. And it was a total accident. It was just like you could see in my face that it was just like I was distraught. But yeah. So we gave him like a eulogy after. It was pretty funny. We all said kind words, and then we moved on with the game. After that, I ended up doing pretty well that game. Right.
Right on.
Not too bad, but.
Funny.
Then the usual 1.3, which I, not much to say, kind of just played that here and there. But today was pretty exciting. Today I just randomly, there's a game that I was interested in at E3. It was really the only game that I was interested in at E3, and that was Anno 2205. I was a big SimCity fan. City Skylines look cool, but I never picked that up. And I really wanted to play Anno 2205 because, futuristic. I love the idea of you going from Earth to the moon. We didn't get there yet. That seems like it's kind of endgame, but we were playing a bit of that today, and it was really, really fun. Really fun. There were a lot of viewers. I was super surprised. I think this is the most concurrent viewers I've ever had.
Yeah.
Outside of like a podcast or something like that. I think it was like 250, something like that. So that was a pretty big deal, and it was really fun. A lot of people asking questions and just a lot of chat interaction about some little things in the game. It was a really good time. So
About your
I
future
enjoyed
city.
myself today. Yeah, with my future city. So I enjoyed it a lot, and definitely going to play a bit more of it in the future. I think my biggest problem now is there's a lot of games I want to play, and I don't have enough time to.
Now all we need is for a Star Citizen to make something like this, so you can build your own cities on planets that people can go and land on. And
Oh
then
my
run
god!
around.
Don't even say that. That would be amazing.
I mean, and then there's
That'd be
RTS
amazing.
aspects to it also,
It's not
which is
gonna-
just crazy.
Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I mean, it looks like it could be a landing location with that dock there. So
Yep.
then orgs have their own cities and planets. And all right, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, because
Oh, man.
feature creep incoming. Don't do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And BoredGamer, what have you been up to?
Well, obviously, other than getting shot in the face by Twerk, who normally can't hit anything for shit.
I can't hit anybody, but I hit him square between the eyes.
Was that your first headshot in that game as well? I mean, yeah. So,
Probably.
other than that, I've been doing lots of theorycraft videos. I'm waiting for 2.0 to come out for Star Citizen. I think
Yeah.
we all are. 1.3 is annoyingly buggy for stability, and I think I've got a pretty stable setup. But trying to work with any other content providers or whatever, one of us will crash out after like an hour. So at
Yeah.
the moment, doing Theorycraft. I'm doing ship buyers guides, looking through lore. I'm going to do some videos on that because it needs to be done for my channel anyway. Something that is new is that I've removed ads. Well, most ads from my channel. So unskippable ads and long ads, they're all gone. No more ads. I'm going to trial that for a month, and hopefully it won't affect my my money much and my monetization. But it does. It's good for you guys because you don't have to watch crappy ads, and it gets my viewership up. That's the hope anyway. So
Yeah, that's a big deal. It's a
yeah,
big
and
change.
at the moment we're trying to get more exposure for Star Citizen. We're trying to grow as content providers, so that really helps. And the other major thing that I've been doing, which is why I might look quite tired and I might be a bit testy, is that as Twerk and Saurus have both been doing as well, we've been setting up Redacted.tv, organising people, promoting stuff, and all of that
A
stuff.
lot
has
of
been,
new people this week.
It's gone 0 to 100 in 0.1 seconds, right? So
Yeah.
it's been pretty
It's
crazy.
it's been crazy, but that's been so time consuming that I'm just absolutely shattered. So after the podcast, I'm going straight to bed.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone that signed up for that, for going on the website and signing up. That is really appreciated. It really helps, and all the feedback that you've given us is absolutely awesome. And I suppose lastly, the only other thing I've been doing is I got my $500 board game that I backed on Kickstarter called Monster Kingdom Death.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know, right? And I went around my mate's house yesterday and we played it, and it's really good. But you'd hope it would be at that kind of price.
Yeah, definitely.
That's half an Idris almost.
Yeah.
But anyway,
For a board game.
I love how everything. Do you notice that everything now we compare it to how much a Star Citizen ship would be?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything in life. Like my air conditioner broke.
I've
That's
cut this spoon.
yeah. That's
Like a glaive. Right there.
That's a glaive.
That's a glaive right
It's a
there.
glaive. It's going to cost me like $375.
Guys, I just dropped a glaive.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
My glaive is dripping upstairs right now.
The forums have cost me an 890 jump.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's
Pretty
funny because
ridiculous.
it's true.
Pretty ridiculous.
What have you been up to anyway, bro?
For myself, I've been playing some Star Citizen. Quite a bit of Star Citizen, actually.
That's true.
Just getting some people sort of in the game, teaching some of our newer content creators how to fly and stuff like that are just joining. And that sort of leads me into the next thing, which is Redacted. So obviously there's been a lot of changes with this. Not so much on the website stuff right now. We are working on the front page, which I've been working on, but more so, and a lot of you guys may have noticed that we're promoting a lot more people other than myself, Twerk, and BoredGamer. That's because we've had a lot more people come on board. We have... I'm probably going to miss some names here, but we have like...
they're not important.
yeah. Whatever. But we have King Kongor and Mad Annie and Wild Runner and Cage Geek and Kazoo and Captain Flint and Mercenary Thorn and I'm trying to think of Falast. I'm sure there's some like Tanshin. There's some other streamers that I'm missing, and then we have YouTubers like STL Youngblood. We have Super Mac Brothers, BoredGamer. We have a couple other guys coming. We're talking to all kinds of like hardware developers and game. Actually, I just got sent a whole bunch of keys from Descent for everybody. So you'll see us doing some Descent things together in the near future here, and all kinds of really cool stuff. It's been a lot of work, though. For me, I'm already busy. This just fills all of my time. I have no free time right now, and I don't expect I will for the next little while, and that's fine. And I know you guys have been busy, and everybody sort of has more on their plates because it's all sort of new and up and coming and all of this other stuff. So as this builds, and as people sort of get comfortable with being in Redacted and what Redacted is, that will sort of lessen the load on everybody, and it'll sort of spread out.
I would like to say that it's a very first world problem being a busy YouTuber.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite a nice position to be in.
Yeah.
The community gives us the ability.
Busy is definitely good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, and I'm loving. I'm exhausted, but I love it so much. So thanks.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah, I mean that's something that that we've been working on, and that's pretty much what I've been focused on for the past week.
Yeah, this week you've been crazy.
It's just been crazy, yeah. And I mean, I've been wanting to get more work on the front page. I just, there's been little things here and there, but nothing too crazy that I've been able to.
Yeah.
You said 2-2.
Yep, I said 2-2. Nothing crazy that I've been able to implement yet. There are some really cool
I don't
things
think we
coming,
expect
but
this many people to come on and be excited to be a part of the team. Like, I know that we were excited and we know like how awesome this is, but I don't know. I expected there to be this much like hype around joining and everything like that. So this week was crazy. Just like
did.
everybody was in.
But yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just like I don't know. I'm
You're a woo
pessimistic.
girl.
You're just,
Aren't
you're
you?
just a woo girl.
But it wasn't like being pessimistic, but I was pleasantly surprised with how many people were excited to be a part of it,
Yeah. So let's move on to some Star Citizen news. I mean, that's why we're all here. So why don't you start with some news from around the web? The big thing being the changes to the flight model.
Yeah, I think that was like probably the hugest news this week, right? So they're calling it IFCS 2.0. So we have IFCS, I guess, 1.0 now. And for me, like the coolest thing, which is probably not the coolest thing to everyone else, is the precision. So there's a few different modes that they're adding. So there's precision. They're kind of changing SCM, or standard combat maneuvering, which is kind of the mode that we have at the moment. They're just tweaking it a bit. Then they're going to have cruise, and then you kind of have quantum and jumping, which jump points they didn't really mention at all in the post, but obviously we're going to have them. Sorry, fucking cat, ripping my headphones out. But
Are we going to have jump points in 2.0 though?
No, there won't be jump points in 2.0, so it's not that big of a deal, but we know that they'll be there eventually, right? So while it's not part of IFCS 2.0, it's going to be a thing, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, the coolest thing was probably precision, and I kind of like what they're doing. So it will cap how fast you can fly, so cap your max velocity, and then your acceleration gets scaled by your like throttle input. So if your throttle's low, you won't accelerate that fast. So like currently right now, when we like launch off a landing pad, we just like shoot into the air like super fast, right?
Yeah.
Or when we try and land, same thing, we like slam into the ground. So this is going to be a lot smoother and
know it's important.
more precise.
I know that's important because you want to be able to land smoothly and gently. But I mean, you could just learn to tap your F or R key a bit like gentler.
Yeah, you could just.
Well, I mean, I do that too. I mean, I do that in
land in
decoupled mode,
decoupled.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can land in decoupled.
From a
I know
distance.
about doing that, but
Do
this
some
is. But
barrel
think about
rolls
the
on
things that
way.
we're going to need to do, guys. There's going to be a Merlin that attaches to a constellation come 2.0. I believe,
good
or
point.
they're working on it. So
You
you're
know
going to
there's gonna
need
be
these
some
precision
really-
type things.
Really aggressive docking maneuvers. In fact, that's probably the first video I'll try and do.
Yeah, just-
aggressively docking with the Merlin.
So, like, obviously, those things are going to be important. And, like, the things that they mentioned, which are kind of interesting, which is kind of maybe why I was so interested in it, is you need a lot more control for things like landing, they said first. Then mining, they said next, which we know is kind of being designed at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But then they said salvage and then started giggling during, I believe it was around the verse. Or no, it was in the video about IFCS.
Yeah, yeah.
They kind of giggled a little bit when they said salvage. Like, is salvage coming sooner than later? Maybe, right? He giggled, and it was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, giggle. So I don't know, but giggle hype, right?
And
then-
giggle hype.
Giggle hype, and then docking, obviously, which I don't know if we'll have it in 2.0, but it's going to be a thing at some point because we know that Elwyn is working on the Merlin docking stuff. So
Right.
pretty cool. Board, do you want to talk about the standard combat maneuvering? Do you have any?
Yeah, so standard
on
combat
that.
maneuvering is basically what we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
And they're going to introduce. We've got boost at the moment for standard combat maneuvering,
Yes.
but we're going to have another way of spending that fuel, which will be like an afterburner, and that afterburner is going to be a speed boost rather than an acceleration boost.
Mm-hmm.
So the current boost we have is basically for more precision maneuvering or to brake quickly. But whereas the afterburner will be, I need to get out of somewhere quickly, or I need to get to another location quickly.
Yeah.
And so that kind of management of fuel is going to be really interesting, and will give another dynamic to battles.
Yep.
Was there anything else that the normal combat has changed?
Now, because of afterburners and boost being a thing, they said they're implementing this kind of jerking feature. So where if you try and slam on your brakes, you're gonna feel it. Like you're trying to make
out, redding out and stuff.
Yeah, so they're trying to make it so you have to make more like slower turns. Like you can't just turn around, spin around, and do all these sorts. Like what we do now is we just like spin around and boost, right? And they're basically they straight up said the word nerf. They're nerfing that. It's gone. It's done. So basically, the way we fly right now is like, while it is what we like, they kind of said SEM is what we have now. It sounds like when 2.0 comes out, we have to relearn how to fly completely. Is the impression that I get from this, which is a little awesome and a little scary at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm certainly looking forward to that. I mean, more management of systems. I live and breathe that sort of stuff.
Yep. How about not a top speed for every ship? Like, based on everything you do, you're going to be able to change your speed. So somebody can have a Hornet that flies this speed, and somebody can have a Hornet that flies a different speed. And it's all about the kind of decisions that you make, which is, I mean, it's becoming a video game. Like, every week I say this, it's becoming more and more of a game and less of this, like, little alpha test bed, right?
Demo, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then we have Cruise. Who wants to talk about Cruise? Source, you want to talk about it?
I can. I don't have it up. Hang on one second.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't have it up.
Well, I'm just getting videos ready. Listen, this is.
Oh, that's
this
right.
is my
Because
job. That's okay. No, that's okay. So, increased velocity from SCM at the expense of control is approximately 1,000 meters per second, roughly. What we do know is that it is going to still vary from ship to ship, but those variances aren't going to be big enough to be worried about, oh, what's the top speed of Cruise on this or something else.
Yeah, but they're all around that number, I guess.
Right. Now, you will be able to maneuver with this, but not as much as you're used to with, say, the standard combat maneuvering, or definitely not as much as the precision. And if you try and do that, what's going to happen is you're going to just black out. Right.
You will be able to decouple as well in all of these modes.
Yeah, you will be able to decouple, which will be hilarious. That's very
one
true.
of the things that they were saying is decoupling and turning backwards and then hitting your thrusters is the way to kind of get out of and slow down from Cruise, which is kind of cool.
Faster.
Yeah.
It's going to be like recovering from slides and things like that is going to be ridiculous. Like I said, it's less about turning and more about course correction. So if you're going somewhere and it's like you're aiming for the center of a planet, you're going to just, turn a couple degrees so you're not.
We can play Cruise Chicken. We can play Cruise Chicken.
Well, this is the
That'll
thing.
be fun.
fun.
Yeah, with Cruise, I'm not sure. I know Quantum is like this. With Cruise, is it going to automatically detect whether something is in your thing and slow you down, or is that something that you're going to have to
I
be in
think
charge
you
of?
have to avoid it.
Yeah.
I think you have to be in charge of it.
Yeah,
Because based on how they're sounding is
Quantum,
course corrections, right?
in Quantum, it stops you, but obviously in Cruise, hopefully, it will just go, no, planet.
There's going to be so many fails.
Yeah, and I mean,
So many fails.
Talking about Quantum, the Quantum jerking motion is sort of a thing right now, right? It doesn't have those sort of smooth transitions into some things, especially at the higher speeds. It's a lot harder to get those to make that look smoother. So right now we're gonna have to feather our brakes and motions as they nerf, I guess, some of the quicker movements and corrections in that flight mode.
And do you know that, like, I just thought of this now. I don't know about mouse and keyboard guys. Like, you two both play mouse and keyboard. And, I mean, you, like, when I said, oh, it's getting nerfed, you guys were like, just, fly and decoupled and tap a button a couple times. It's no big deal. But it sounds to me like this is even pushing more towards that HOTAS setup being kind of ideal, maybe like the throttle coming down more accurately, and I don't know.
Maybe.
Right?
It
Do I
certainly
have
gives
to
more
switch
precision
to
to
an Xbox
throttles.
controller? Do I have to put this game on a console?
That's how Chris Robertson intended it to be played.
Yes.
We've
Well,
seen
I mean,
him use that controller.
he wants to use the Xbox controller, right?
Yep.
And that's his weapon of choice.
And of course, there's obviously going to be some UI changes to go along with these. Otherwise, how else would you know what is going on? And that will be done by the one-man UI wrecking team, Zane.
Right? He's a fucking animal, this guy.
Yeah. So
they mentioned Zane for like 30 things this week. Like, does he sleep? What is he? Is he human?
No
I don't know.
sleeping. No sleeping.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for the changes to the flight model. Now, what's really cool about this is that they did release this big thing, like changes to the flight model, and basically told us not to worry about stuff. It is changing, and all this, and sort of to prepare ourselves for Alpha 2.0. Now,
Oh my god.
all of these flight changes are coming up for 2.0. We know that Alpha 2.0 is really imminent.
We keep saying not that far.
We don't want to give people false hope, because that's why CIG don't give times or dates, because they don't want to give people false hope. They don't want to make people go and then really upset. But
2 weeks, guys.
Everything implies that it's going to be very, very soon, and we hope that it's very soon. But it's going to be soon.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that have pointed in the direction of it coming soon, because they're not doing anything with 1.3, right? So they just don't talk about it. And we said this last week too. It just seems like everything is now, while it might not come out tomorrow,
but it might.
All the effort is on
right.
2.0, right? Because
it's
they're really trying to push it out.
It's hard for it to come out tomorrow when it comes out today. No?
Oh dear.
We wish.
No.
We'll try not to troll people, but we know it's going to be pretty damn soon. That's what everything is implying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, some of the things that are kind of holding them back a bit is they were saying the frame rates, they're not quite acceptable. So there's something that's holding them back with that a little bit, and that's holding them up. But go ahead.
I think when you get a map that big, and then you get all your players on there doing stuff, and then you have the fidelity that they want to have everything at, and you look at the space stations and the planets, and then all the ships and the characters and things are running around and all of this other stuff, and you realize that they don't have things like LODs optimized to the fullest yet. They don't have things like, oh, is it rendering stuff through walls, or is it trying to render stuff that you can't see, and doing all this other stuff. It's going to bring down the frame rate quite drastically.
Yeah, I mean, how about just there's still not ships that have the proper damage states yet, like 300i, Hornet, Constellation, Cutlass. Like, well, Cutlass will in 2.0. Yeah, like a lot of the ships that we currently fly now just don't, right? So a lot of that stuff. But they did talked about some of the things that they put in, and one of the more interesting things are that we know what our default loadout is going to be when we get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So light marine armor, which I'm sure upsets you a little bit.
Well.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not like you can't change it in your hangar, right? RSI helmet, 2 med pens. It says helmet again. EVA jets, and arc light laser pistol. Can't talk.
Pew, pew, pew!
Yeah, so that's going to be our default for when we enter the Crusader map, which is pretty cool. So we're going to have some med pens. So there's healing of ourselves. So, I mean, we're going to see in our helmets kind of our status, and we're going to stab ourselves with med pens and heal ourselves up. So not only is there healing for our ships and repairing for our ships, but repairing for ourselves as well,
so we
right?
stab ourselves with a med pen and those little drones fly around us and repair us.
Yeah.
Exactly, with like some really weird looking lights that just repair everything.
What I found really interesting, actually, what they were talking about with 2.0 is when they were talking about if you go too close to a planet, you'll get a gravity warning, and then when you get really close, you'll die. So I'm hoping that we can get really close.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get it. That's one of the first things I'm gonna do is just fly to Crusader.
my god, yeah, just go into warp, because let's face it, it's warp.
And then look for Lando Calrissian, because that's what Crusader's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like Cloud City. They're homage to Cloud City, so I'm gonna look for Lando, not Disco Lando, the real Lando,
the true Lando.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think it's pretty cool that there's that load up, but then there's also the P4 AR ballistic rifle, so that kind of like machine gun that we've seen in the demo. Those are going to be at Korea Station.
Mm-hmm. I think they might be in other places as well. Like, yeah, I think that there are going to be gun racks in some of the other stations as well, just hidden around or respawn randomly.
Yeah, maybe they're like more, like random and procedural, but this is like they will always be here, is what we're saying, I guess. And that's probably that station must be the station where the FPS map is, I guess. The FPS station will be like where they showed in the demo of like this is where FPS will happen. But I guess they want it to happen because those guns are there.
As soon as that server's populated, there's just going to be like 20 people in there constantly shooting each other, then flying back, ramming their ships in, and then shooting each other. It's going to be hell.
Well, I'm pretty sure it'll be like what Free Flight was when it first released as well, right? And I mean, still can be, people doing all kinds of wacky things. And
Free Flight's my favorite because it's the most.
Twerk can express his feelings the best in Free Flight.
I guess it's the most unpredictable of all of them because there's more things that can happen, right? So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, and then I don't know if you have this video. I'm going to get you the link right now as quickly as I can. Okay. Because it's giving me I always have a hard time getting the Vimeo ones off. But there we go. I got it. I think I got it. But the what is it called? The ragdoll animation is like really friggin' good now, right? We've had a silly ragdoll animation for some time, and now it's pretty.
Did you put it in here?
I'm trying.
0G ragdolls for the win.
Yeah. Oh. I can't find it. So, okay. But it is at. I guess we can. Here, I can give you the link to the weekly development update, and it's at the bottom. I guess that's the best way to do it. So I'll link that in there.
Update: PTU patch is live. Oh, that's
whoa!
No, that's October 14th.
Oh,
hang on.
Fuck you, Saurus.
No, somebody posted it in chat, not me.
Yeah.
I'm just clicking on their link.
Don't click on links.
Be glad I'm not a mod on this channel because if I was, I would be timing you out for 10 minutes.
Tarkstar, you are such a troll. Calling you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so we left on the.
So I put the development update link in there.
Okay.
Just go ahead and click that. It's at the bottom if we want to show the ragdoll because it was a really cool video, especially when the guy's head at the end hits it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We just watched this video.
Oh, we did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll watch it again.
It's
but
that
good. it is pretty cool. Where it's the Port Olisar Dollar Tour, where he's sort of floating around the space station. You see the planet, you see the star there. It's very cool. It's got the rotating rings and everything on it.
Yeah, the music was pretty cool too. It just kind of fit for a guy floating in space. So well done, whoever picked the music. But one of the other things that I didn't write in the doc that I believe was mentioned is that Constellation is ready.
Okay.
You said that as a question to us.
You did.
You said that as a question.
Well, because I feel like I heard it, and I'm not sure where I heard it from, and I don't feel like saying it.
Idris?
Yeah, no. Constellation's ready, Retaliator's ready, and Cutlass is ready, I believe. They're all, like, flyable and ready to go. They're just not spawning in.
Isn't the Cutlass, so I heard some stuff about the Cutlass, isn't the Cutlass not the... aren't they, like, rolling it back to something? It's not the super finished one? It's the... They're putting one in?
Yeah, they're putting one in.
They're kind of throwing one in that's sort of done.
Yeah, something like that.
Cutlass, man. They are just trolling every Cutlass owner as hard as they can.
I think the thing with the Cutlasses though is that they're going to be so multi-role.
It's hard to make it, right? It's gotta be.
Because it's got to kind of work with one pilot, but also work well with 3 pilots or 3 pilots and a couple of Marines in the back. It's got to work.
It's a weird ship.
That. Yeah, it is.
And then it's like sort of big, but it's sort of not. And then it's sort of supposed to be able to dogfight, but sort of not. So it's like how? It's cool. How exactly? How do you make that ship? And I think that's what's kind of taken them the time that it's taken them.
It doesn't look horrible, but it looks weird.
It's like sexy in its own way. It's a weird.
It's a weird.
You should just buy a Caterpillar. Just buy a Caterpillar. Done. Boom.
Boom. Done. Because the Caterpillar is pretty neat. But yeah, so those 3 ships are pretty much like I guess the ones that they are going to put in are ready to go, right? So that's pretty exciting. So that's not what the holdup is. We're not waiting for them to get the certain ships in. To kind of have them ready. It's just these little behind the scenes type things, which is kind of what we dealt with about 6 months ago. So let's just hope that they're able to knock those out pretty quickly, and they seem confident that they will this time. I would love to look back at some of our past redacteds, like where around FPS was supposed to come out, and just see the language that they were giving.
Well, to be honest, those are the ones without me, and so they're pretty crap.
Yeah, that's true. You're such a dick. But I would love to see the language that they were saying and see if it differs from the language that they have now, right? Because they seem very confident that it's like sooner than soon. It's not soon TM, it's like actually soon. So, I mean, obviously there's some blockers, and we'll talk about them in just a minute. But it just doesn't seem like FPS to me. But maybe it was just because FPS was so long ago that their language seems a bit different. I don't know, but I'm genuinely excited, and I really feel like we're going to be having a lot of fun.
Celebrating and dancing around your shoes and
well, not right now, but I can't wait for when I do get to. And I think I get to take my shoes off and throw confetti around my room pretty soon.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because that's what I'm going to do.
So
I have a little mini party hat somewhere. It's like this big, and I have to find it for when it comes out.
I want as well. I gave to my cat. Don't ask.
Yeah, it's like a cat-sized hat.
But for anyone that's wondering what we're going to get with Alpha 2.0 still, if you've seen the Gamescom and CitizenCon Alpha demos for 2.0, that's what it is.
Exactly
that's the majority of it, with knowing there's some surprises that they're keeping back from us that they've mentioned.
Well, I mean, obviously, did you see the end of the video with all the places that we can go? Like, there's going to be unique things at those places, I would assume. Some unique things, right? So, that's kind of exciting. I'm pretty pumped. I'm not going to lie. Pretty pumped.
I'm pretty excited.
So, what are the blockers then?
So, that the big one is this frame rate is, like, very sluggish at times. Now, when they say very, I mean, it's got to be pretty bad. Now, I know that they QA... So like people are like, oh my god, it's sluggish, and they use like 12 Titan X's on their machines. Like, I know for the fact that the QA uses builds. They have a bunch of computers and they swap out components to what we use. So they have, 670s, they have 780s, they have 970s. They're swapping out and like all AMD stuff, which I'm not sure, what.
Mm-hmm. But the
about
QA
AMD
guys and a lot of the people. Yeah. A lot of the QA guys and the people that are running with those quite beastly rigs, a lot of them, when they say it's sluggish, they mean it's running under like 120, under 90 frames a second. But
yeah, and I'm sure they're trying it on builds like my computer or your computer, as well. Because I know for a fact that they do that. That's how they test bugs.
I would like to say that the blockers list we are describing, I feel, are exceptionally minor blockers.
Yes.
Like the frame rate issue is probably literally just some code or memory leaks and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that as if I know game development. I really don't, but I am just assuming.
Yeah.
But yeah, frame rate stuff I think is probably just relatively easy for them to sort out now. They just clean up the code. Mm-hmm. Let's hope anyway.
Yeah. So other than the frame rate, what else do we have?
Obviously, there's a few crashes that are blocking some things. One of them with the comms array gameplay, which is definitely I would say probably one of the more important pieces of gameplay from what I can tell, is that's where you kind of open up your map to the rest of the map, the larger part of the map, right? That's at the end of that Gamescom demo where you saw all the places that you can go. That was after you did that comms array gameplay, so that's pretty important. They were unable to spawn those multi-crew ships, so all the Andromeda, the Retaliator, and the Cutlass.
No, that was only in the release version, though, right?
Yes.
So there's just a discrepancy in between their internal and the release.
So not that big of a deal.
Figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably one little mini line of code or something like that. EVA needs to be more responsive and much less buggy. Player can spin out, which is pretty funny. I actually kind of hope this bug stays. I don't know about you guys. I think this bug would be fun to play with. I don't know. Nope, I'm spinning again. Hold on, I have to go into third person so I don't get
funny
sick.
Bugs. We want funny bugs. Yeah,
like the bug where we can slide in our hangar. Remember that? Where we can slide down stairs and stuff in our hangar. That was a fun bug to play with. So you also suffer latency issues, that's a big issue.
Yeah.
Where
well, that's what that buggy is. It's spinning out of control and creating latency issues, right?
Yeah. So a big issue, but maybe something easy to fix. Walking onto a ship can cause it to have no flight functionality, but works fine if you debug spawn straight to the cockpit, which is something they can do. I don't think we can debug spawn straight into the cockpit. So something they have to figure out, which I like that they kind of put this speak in here. Like something unrelated to what we do, but it explains to you exactly what's going on with the issue, which is pretty cool. Server crashes when AI units fire weapons. So I was listening to a podcast actually this afternoon. It was the Guard Frequency podcast, which is one of my favorites. And how they described this crash was pretty funny. When AI shoot their weapons, they destroy the entire universe, which essentially just crashes the game. But they described it as they have universe-destroying weapons. But so that's what's going on with that.
Doomsday devices.
Yeah, they have doomsday devices, right? So pistol aim down sight animations are blocked until we finalize stocked rifle aim down sights system. So I guess they're related to each other in some way. I know we have the weird thing where, like, if you try and aim your pistol now, your hand moves and the pistol doesn't, and I don't know if they're related to this as well, but definitely, like, when you're in free flight mode now in 1.3, trying to fire your pistol is like, it's all over the place. Character sprint animations need a review once the weapon lowered pose is finalized. So remember that lowered pose, there's 3 steps to, this was like a long time ago with some FPS posts, where that lowered pose is where you can sprint and you can jump, and then you actually have to, if you begin to fire, it will raise your weapon to, I guess, hip fire position. And so they're kind of working on that. And then EVA needs to support personal weapons usage. This will require code support as well as adjustments to the base poses. I'm assuming that means, like, when you are trying to fire your weapon in EVA, it's a little weird. That's what I get from that.
Yeah, something interesting with the character sprint animations one with the different poses and stuff. Because they don't have the poses finalized, they don't even know whether that's a blocker or not yet.
Yeah.
They won't know until those are finished. So that's like they're putting in potential blockers now into the blockers list. And a lot of these things that are in this list in general don't seem, like you said earlier, they seem sort of minor for the most part.
Yeah.
And that's why, another reason why everybody is so on edge and sort of waiting for it.
I do think a lot of the issue have been caused is that they haven't really broken it down into this patch and then we'll continue to work. They've just been working on the game. So a lot of the stuff they're adding in is causing, as you said, more potential blockers, because they just keep on adding to it because they're working on the game and they're not separating the streams or the patches out. So when this one comes out, then I think we're going to get lots of updates very quickly. Because obviously we've had that code merge, and they're going to be very keen to get any improvements directly into our hands.
Yeah.
as soon as 2.0 comes out.
I hope that we start to see more of a regular patch cycle coming sooner
Yeah.
rather than later, and I think we will. But that's something I'm looking forward to, you know? Like, I've mentioned
Absolutely.
this before on the podcast, where, you know, Blizzard or a lot of other games have their Tuesdays, right? Where they patch on Tuesdays, and in the morning or whatever, the servers go down for a couple hours, and they fix some stuff, they patch it, they put it all up, and everybody downloads that. And I'm ready. I'm excited for when that's going to be implemented, because it is just a matter of time now.
Yeah.
We indeed, but we are a little way off of that though, because they're still writing some of the technology for their engines.
There's still the base technology is still being implemented and working on, but I'm hoping that we start to see more iterative patches like that sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
As
Would be
opposed to with Arena Commander, they haven't been doing that as much, and that's because they're working on this the thing as a whole right now.
Yeah.
Ships are being worked on. So the Connie...
This is from ATV, sorry.
Yeah, so the Connie docking bay is getting worked on. And this is where you're going to be docking the... Is this the docking bay for the Merlin and the P-72
Yes.
on the Phoenix?
Yes.
Hang on, Twerk. I'm sure you said that the Connie was done earlier. Where's all this coming from?
Well, this is different. I don't see. This kind of tells me that this is probably not going to happen with 2.0, right? Don't fail fish me.
Oh, so failfish.
But that kind of tells me that the docking bay might not be happening in 2.0. But yeah, they're working on it, so cool. And then obviously Caterpillar Tech Design, which we've seen for a little bit now, but the more they bring the Caterpillar online, the more gameplay I can see happening. Like, what do you guys think? What kind of gameplay do you think is going to drop?
Well, pirate everything.
Well, you know how they like kind of drop a certain type of gameplay with something. I feel like the Caterpillar is going to drop something. Do you guys think salvage? I think
salvage, scavenging, and salvage, because I think they have those workshop modules.
Yep. And I think the Caterpillar will be done before the. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. The big salvage ship.
The Reclaimer.
Reclaimer. Yep.
Yeah,
because they don't really talk much about the Reclaimer right now, right? And they're really kind of pushing that Caterpillar. So.
Well, that Reclaimer, they have to do the whole salvage mechanic before they're even thinking about finishing it.
Yeah, but it sounds like they're working on it because of Giggle Hype. Remember Giggle Hype like 20 minutes ago?
Giggle Hype, you're right.
Giggle Hype. Don't forget about the Giggle Hype. Wow. And then shopping is getting close. Zane again is revamping on how the interface is going to work on essentially of how we buy clothes and buy things. And then
people are going to lose their minds. Okay, Clifford is just going to go into like a Kasaba outlet and just lose his mind.
I'm going to spend all my rec or UEC. I wonder if Kasaba outlet's going to be with rec. I hope so, because I'm going to spend it all on animal print underwear. And I wonder if we can wear women's clothes as men. Definitely going to do that. Definitely doing that.
Because why not?
I'm trying to live my real life in the Star Citizen world. I just dress up like a guy for you guys because of because of mores, you know. But they're working on the layout. Aren't you so happy I work together with you guys? Aren't you so happy?
Brilliant. My head feels like it's got bullets in it.
Yeah. And then they're working on the layout of Kasaba Outlet. So maybe it wasn't as easy to shop around and move around in. So I guess they're kind of looking at
like
that.
some of the corridors were a little too narrow and stuff like that. For if somebody's standing there, you couldn't really get around them and stuff like that.
For larger citizens, that's not really tailored for larger people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, they're corporate. They want to make some money.
Yeah.
Kasaba Outlet. They need to sell some clothes.
Yep. So that they got a big and tall section, and nobody can get there.
Yep.
That was the problem.
We also have the first-person camera dampening. Now, we only have really one point to make on this, but I think this is a pretty big deal because
this is huge, yeah.
Because the whole reason that we even have this is because of the first-person and the third-person animations are the exact same. So they're working on making us not sick when we're doing emotes, but I think this will affect more than just emotes. I think it'll affect how much head bob
prone
you
and
want.
stuff.
And
true.
when you're moving around and stuff like that, and how jerky that is, and especially knowing that Eventually down the road, we want to have some sort of VR integration in with this. It's going to be really important that we don't have these jerky movements in first person.
I occasionally make videos on the Oculus. When I do that emote in first person, I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I instantly get vertigo.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Like, it's like a
pretty bad.
Carnival.
Pretty bad.
I mean, and obviously, like, they want this game to be in first person, right? I mean, totally breaks immersion. When I don't dance, but when I do dance, I try to. I'm gonna dance for a certain song that I might be singing. But yeah, so for when you do the dance emote, or even when you do like this emote, it like there's lots of like head movement, and it's crazy. It's all over the place. And I can't do them in third person or in first person ever. Yeah. I always go into third person when I'm doing emotes because it makes me uncomfortable to watch it. But they want us to play in first person. We want to, enjoy ourselves with that. And
they want to have that integration of first and third person, so people are actually doing what they're seeing instead of you seeing one thing and you playing another is kind of what they're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
AI in 2.0 is getting cleaned up. They're working on making the Crusader map feel more alive, getting some more AI in there.
And that's not like AI pirates. Yeah, it's just
AI
making it feel like in general. So like similar to what they said was going to be an ArcCorp. People moving around, walking around.
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be lots of, in the actual 2.0, there's going to be lots of dynamic-ish encounters. So there might just be some ships in the background just flying around, but there might be a UEE versus pirate fight going on, or some UEE guys might just fly past you and like look like they're scanning you. I doubt that's actually in the game yet, but they might just pass you by. Or you might get attacked by pirates. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, it could be any of those things, and I think those kind of things really would need to be in there for it to feel
alive, breathing.
Feel alive, yeah.
Yeah, so when you enter certain locations, AI will spawn in to make sure that the game sort of feels there. It won't be everywhere. Obviously, space is desolate in some areas and stuff like that. But when you're in, I think, more popular areas, I think around space stations and landing zones for planets and things like that, you're going to start to see maybe trade lanes, you know, things like that. You're going to see more AI stuff.
Absolutely.
Also AI pirates as well.
And just a note, I think we had spoken a long time ago about like when we looked at the star map, and Stanton is kind of like, why is there so much pirating going on over here? Or why is it so like the threat level seems a little too high for a system like this?
It's private security.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I was just going to mention that is that because the UEE sold all these planets in the system to these corporations, they don't actively protect the system. So each corporation has their own kind of private security. So if you were like a mercenary in the Star Citizen universe, this might be a place that you would kind of like go to work. But that's why there's the ability for there to be a little bit of piracy in the system, and also there's like a jump point straight from Pyro to Stanton. So that's why, like, when I first looked at it, I was thinking, like, why would these corporations allow it to be like this? But it's probably pretty hard to control, right? Especially if you don't have the UEE's help. So I thought that was interesting. Oh, where are we now?
So we also saw the inside of Foundry 42. This is pretty
cool. That was kind of cool.
The German branch.
Yeah, I actually have a video for this.
Yeah.
I love the Germans with those films because he literally is like, you can tell he doesn't want to be there. He's
but he's
I need to be working
badass.
on the game. He's like, I want to be working on the game, or like, I'm glad that these guys aren't here with me on this video because they're busy working.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. It's so fun.
It's just always throws a dig at it.
Every they have the nice light up sign there that says Foundry 42 and the poster that says 42.
I mean, and he looks like a friggin' Viking. Right?
Yeah.
But like, it's a really cool looking office. I would love to work there. I feel like I would get so much work done being in these offices, nice and clean, and yeah. But like, I don't know about you guys, but he's probably my favorite guy out of all the updates. Just because like he doesn't really, he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He straight up like tells you what's going on that week, and he's just like, man, we're working hard, and we really want to get this game out to you. And he's just such a bro. It's pretty awesome. And like you would also expect like people to have German accents that work there, and like none of them that they bring on do. Maybe it's because those guys are a little nervous, but
yeah,
or their English isn't the greatest. But they straight up like just have all these like bros there. Yeah,
I promise you, their English is better than my German.
But yeah, IDD, yeah. But IDD KFA was actually he just showed up at the office and in Frankfurt and stopped in, and they actually gave him a little tour and said they were like super focused, and it was like quiet and really cool. But they were like super open to him coming by, and I thought that was awesome because he kind of showed up unannounced, whereas the other ones I think they kind of schedule you. So I thought that was pretty awesome when he told me that. But he said he really enjoyed himself, and everyone was super cool there. And yeah, that's.
Yeah, what was cool at the end of this little tour that he gave too is that he said what the capacity of the office is and that they're still hiring to fill the office to capacity.
I think there's 49 spots and they've got 30 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some more people, some more good people in Germany.
I swear to God, those Germans, they're making that tech behind that game. They are working hard to make the game. Like,
dude, until this office came around, like, did you notice like everything was at a standstill? And then, like, when this office came around, it was just like boom, 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 boom. Things are coming out, and you were like, holy crap, these guys are badass.
But yeah, they really are though. They really are.
Yeah, it's like the UK office and the German office seem to be just like super, just to the point. Whereas us Americans, we're just eating McDonald's and.
Well, I think it's focused on different tasks, isn't it? So
no,
yeah,
I know.
The stuff we're looking at the moment is very much in the news and very much obviously.
And it's very much in their hands, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how about that art board sneak peek?
The Xi'an.
The Cartoal.
Yep, and then there's a link in there for. I mean, you did just say the art board, right? So you're probably going on that.
Yeah, so
that's today's.
I'm showing the ship style board 204, which is with the red. I personally I like the black. I also like the red though. I'm kind of torn in between the two.
I really like the black.
Yeah, I really like the black too.
That reddish pink, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. But obviously that
reddish
seems
pink.
to be kind
Where
of.
Are you getting pink from?
For me,
it's like
I feel
crimson red.
I get pink in it when I look at
so
it. The dress
the highlights,
is blue.
The highlights of that are in pink, but
Yeah.
the rest of it's crimson red. You're both right.
Yeah. You're fucking wrong, Source. It's fucking
Mostly right.
mostly right.
But here it is. Here it is in the black.
Black I like a lot.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
We're just hoping that the ship actually looks like this because this is the style board.
Yeah. So this is like what they're using for all Exian style ships, right?
God, you trolly bastard!
This is.
I
Cool
still
too,
don't even know what we
concept
decided we were
art
going to say.
Of the interior with the chair and everything.
And that's the first time we've kind of seen that, right? Which is really cool. And what the hell is that chair? That's the inspiration on the right side. That gold chair.
Oh, the
It's like
gold
some
thing.
sort of yoga chair, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like weird. But it's
modern.
It's a
furniture.
very cool interior.
And a stripped down gray cat up here.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's cool.
Think about using track IR or look ahead mode in this ship, because you're just like in this pod where you can see everything. So the field of view is going to be huge in terms of like looking around and stuff. I think it's going to be a really cool experience.
What's that QR code for? Because obviously one of those things was a QR code. What is that for? Please, if anyone finds out what that's for, please tell us in the chat.
Let me look.
Yeah.
Oh, the QR code's here on the one with the red. Beside the self-illumination futuristic mandala of Xi'an civilization. Bum bum bum.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, it's a futuristic mandala QR code.
Oh, okay.
So it's got its own
also
custom.
exist.
So that's. I think they want their own QR codes to scan the ships. So I think they're working on their own custom QR style.
Cool. I also thought that ship was a two-seater, and it doesn't appear to be anymore.
It is two-seater.
But
It bloody better be, because I just did a video about it being two-seater.
But where in this style guide? I know
maybe
it's
the
the style
guys-
guide, but
The guys really straddle each other. Really
maybe
straddle.
the ship is bigger than it's showing. Like, do you guys remember when we saw the what was it? The hospital ship.
The Endeavor?
Endeavor. The
I like
first
how
time that
Troy remembers no
I never
names of
remember
any
anything.
ships.
I can't ever remember a name of a ship. There's too many, damn it. So when we first saw the Endeavor, didn't it look really small? Like the
I would have
first kind of initial look.
hoped you would have remembered that name. It's called the Hope.
Yeah, one of them. But yeah, it looked really small, and then when they redid the concept art, it kind of read as its real size, right? So maybe that's what's happening, and maybe the cockpit's a little bigger than we think. But
I don't think any of us thought that the Endeavour was going to be as big as it was.
no,
Endeavour
it's huge.
Massive.
Yeah, huge.
But
But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for that ship. I know we talked about it a lot last week, but I'm super pumped about it. So obviously, the next profession update will be repair. Looks like,
Yep.
And that's because it seems pretty obvious that the Crucible will be next.
and they were
Right,
talking
and this
about
is-
this.
They were talking about this
Form.
on Reverse the Verse, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the news that we're going to be talking about now are from Reverse the Verse. So I'm pretty excited about Repair It. We talked a bit about that last week, excuse me. And yeah, I know we're going to have the little kind of miniature Repair version in 2.0, but I'm excited just to read the doc about kind of what their feelings are about it in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they fixed a lot of the bugs that we're dealing. This is the first time that we've kind of heard about those AC 1.3 bugs since it's come out. They fixed a lot of those bugs internally, but they might not roll them out until 2.0. So another like indicator that 2.0 is probably really close. And if it's not really close, it'll most likely be the next patch anyway, right? So even if we have to wait a few more weeks, it's still going to be the next
Yeah.
patch.
Yeah, I mean, 1.3 is annoyingly crashy. So,
Yeah.
and they have said that they've got a lot of those kind of bugs fixed. So if they're not doing a hot fix for that, to me that says
2.0
as
has
you've said,
got to be around the corner.
it's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah, like it just, how can it not, like the way they're saying it, how can it not be? They're trying not to say it, but they're saying it.
Yeah.
They're like dropping the clues, right? And hopefully we're reading them correctly. I'm not, Harrison Ford or anything, so I probably got it all wrong. But so that kind of means that we probably won't get any updates for the current AC 1.3 build that we're dealing with now. So if it is so frustrating that you can't play it, hang out and wait. Be patient, because some good stuff's going to come.
And guys, I'm really
personally, I
sorry.
enjoyed it.
I'm really sorry. I can't get rid of those Skype beeps for the time.
Oh,
being.
I'm getting them too.
Yeah, I can't. I have it put away, but that combo is blowing up right now.
Yeah,
So if you could
I'll
just
type
ask
a
them
message
to
in there and
stop.
ask them to stop for a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, so as it continues to beep.
Well, they're saying, okay, I'm going to stop. Okay.
So yeah, it is one of those things as well that is just showing that it's like 2.0 is here. It's here. It's soon. Right? No UEC in 2.0. I don't think.
We don't think.
Now they've sort of flip-flopped on this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They said that we wouldn't be using rec, but we wouldn't be using UEC, and then they didn't know, and then we might have our own temporary currency.
Well, at the moment, they aren't even prototyping the economy in the game yet. So until that, it seems sensible for me for them to use rec, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Until they just go, right, now we're prototyping the economy, now we have persistence, now we're bringing in either UEC or temporary UEC.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good idea for now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise people are going to get really annoyed that they can't rent a Connie or they can't rent a Retaliator.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to have right in the beginning, because a lot of people have enough rec to rent said ships. And I think, obviously, as soon as we get in, what's the first thing we're going to do? I'm not going to fly a Hornet. I'm not going to fly a Merlin. I've been flying those. I want to fly something I haven't flown yet, right?
Tell us.
So the first thing I'm going for is the Connie.
Oh, it was me causing those beeps talking to someone.
That was you as well, yeah. Everybody was
Lol, lol,
done.
lol.
Yeah.
Lol, lol, lol.
Yeah, I just
So
typed in there and said, please.
They
stop.
might not the currency wise for 2.0 leaning towards using rec. using it in the prototype economy and missions, but they want 2.0 out and stable before implementing a way to rent or temporarily buy ships for the PU first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because obviously, I think that would be a fairly big undertaking to have the whole UEC system.
Well,
in
we
there,
also
right?
know that their backend doesn't support those multiple currencies in there yet. And it needs to be able to support it on the website and everything else like that, right? So this is just something that sort of sprung up, that it's something, okay. Yeah. And for those people that are suggesting I change my settings, I'm set to invisible, and it shouldn't be doing anything, but it is. So auto gimbals will exist in the Star Citizen universe. Auto track gimbals are being discussed as a possibility. It won't be free. There will be a direct cost for using them. It could happen, but it won't have the same potency. They'll probably be slower.
Yeah, we've spoken about this a few times now.
Something I've noticed in 1.3 is my turret on the Hornet is extremely slow, which is really frustrating, because I would rather put on a fixed weapon or a fixed turret with a gimbal on that turret and then use that instead, because that's a lot faster than the actual turret. The turrets are too slow to be beneficial right now. If you have someone 45 degrees apart, by the time that you're tracking them and they're moving around and your turret finally gets over there, they could be on the other side of the ship. And so your turret is firing.
Are you
all
saying
these
when
weapons.
you're in the turret or when you're using?
When you're using it, I'm talking about in the Hornet right now.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know, but you can be in the turret in the Super Hornet.
So
in the free flight or whatever.
Yeah, the turret's just too slow when it's being automatic.
I understand now.
Yeah. So I mean, that could be a way that they do that, is they just make it really slow like this, and that could balance it out a little bit. Yeah, and cannot add friends to hangars in 2.0 still.
I need friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that, I mean, they said we were going to have that a while ago, right? But that was for some social 2.0 drop. They haven't made much, like many iterations to social as far as like the back end type stuff. But that's a thing that we would obviously like to have, but not yet. So they said probably in the next build, whenever, so maybe after the next patch, after like next major patch after Star Citizen 2.0.
Yeah, possibly.
But, yeah, I can't wait to do some of those things and bring people in and just kind of goof around.
I'm really excited for it.
I think that one of the issues is that hangars are surprisingly client side.
Yes.
And I think they haven't. Yeah, I don't think there's any code there to make it multiplayer yet, so they do have to build that, and it's not a priority.
I also want to stress to a lot of people. I get a lot of people in my channel, and I've seen in other channels lately as well. Oh, I can't wait for 2.0. It's gonna fix all the bugs that we have.
No, it's gonna make
it's gonna be easier to jump in, and I'm not gonna download 1.3 because it's too buggy. I'll wait for 2.0. It's gonna fix that. I want to make it very, very, very clear that it is going to get worse before it is going to get better. Especially when they're adding all kinds of new tech in and new things. There's going to be more things that complicate things. There's going to be more things that'll cause your client to crash, to create weird issues, to make things like loadouts unusable. There's going to be all kinds of stuff, and this is part of the development cycle of a game like this, and I want to make that very clear to everybody, so anyone who's going into this isn't expecting this polished, beautiful thing that's going to be fun and great, and it may be fun and great and all this other stuff, but please expect to be crashing. Please do not expect to think that this is going to be a bug-free experience, because it most definitely will not be a bug-free experience. And I don't know how else to make this clear. This has just been sort of a trend I've been seeing lately, where everybody thinks that 2.0 is the messiah that's just going to fix all the issues with Star Citizen right now, and that's not the case. It's adding new gameplay, which is going to increase the complexity of everything, and we're going to see a lot more issues with stuff.
More bugs than Starship Troopers confirmed. Yep,
that's right. So it is inevitable. That is going to happen. Yeah. Moving on, I want to remind everybody that if you have any questions for myself, BoredGamer, or Twerk17, do me a favor and type !question in chat. Feel free to fill out your questions, or if it's a question for all of us about Star Citizen or about our channels or anything like that, definitely ask away. We are going to move now on to Starship Showcase.
Yeah, and as we're going there, guys, there's a few new people here, it seems. Feel free to ask, like, the most basic questions. No question is dumb or anything like that, and we'll definitely
if they are dumb, we'll time you out. Jesus.
Yeah, if they're dumb, we won't answer it. No, but yeah, exclamation point question if you have any questions.
2.0 links. I will find where you live. I will hunt you
so yeah,
down.
you're gonna click that link and fill out the form. So you won't be asking the question in the chat. You'll be asking the question on the form, and then we'll read it from the form.
That's right.
So moving on to one of the ships that we're gonna see in 2.0. So like as like every podcast, we try and keep a theme, right? So this is the Roberts Space Industries Constellation. There are some other variants. We're looking at the Andromeda variant right now. There is the Aquila variant, or Aquila variant, I'm not sure how to say it, is the exploration variant of the constellation. Yeah, it's the Axion Aquila.
Oh, you trolls.
Aquila.
Yep. Then there is the Constellation Taurus variant, which is...
pronounce it Taurus.
Taurus, okay. It is... I can't even right now. It's like the trader one, so it's got more cargo space, as well as like a little hidden compartment for maybe some cargo that you don't want certain police to see.
For me, the Taurus is very much the stripped down version of the Constellation.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's
also larger.
A base constellation as cheap as possible, $150.
Yeah.
It's really nice to build up from there for like a true multi-crew experience. But we'll talk more about that in a minute because I'm really passionate about the Taurus.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's the Phoenix, which is like the luxury version. It's got a hot tub and a sexy bed.
The Pionix.
Yeah. That one.
I hate you.
Then
Fun fact,
so
RSI spells Phoenix wrong.
do they really?
Yeah.
Do they?
Or did I just spell Phoenix wrong in the chat?
No, they spell it wrong too.
Okay.
I know because I did some stuff.
You did some research on the internet.
I did some internet research.
Nice. So
Phoenix now.
enough about this damn Phoenix. We're talking about the Andromeda. Jeez.
Okay. Why did you bring up the Phoenix then? Jeez.
Because we talked about that there's other variants. God,
Get
get with the program, guys.
It's in a
program. Get with the program.
I'm ready. Sorry.
Are you guys ready? Are you with the program?
I've got
Is
the
everybody
program.
with the program? Okay. So
I'm coming back. I threw my headphones in garbage. Got so passionate.
So obviously we're talking about the Andromeda, and we can talk about the Taurus as well and some of the other prices of the ship, because the price for the Andromeda for the single ship, so just the ship package, is $225 US, and the game package is an additional $50, which is pretty crazy, because usually we've seen game packages be just like a few dollars more, but
You get lots of random shit, don't you?
you get a lot of extra shit with this one. So you get like all the fish, you get a buggy. So
they've
there's
changed
like,
it.
yeah, because it's not a physical package anymore. They're done with all the physical packages. So that's kind of why I want to talk about this. Is
We learned this today.
we just learned this today when we were taking a peek at it. No, it's not a single-seater ship. It's a single ship package. So it's just the ship, or it's just the single ship is $225, not the game package. The game package is $275, but you get like all the fish. What's weird is there a fish tank in there? I didn't know. I didn't remember seeing the fish tank.
The Mark 1 fish tank.
Okay, so it's the Mark 1 fish tank. You got the buggy. So it's like a lot of things that it comes with. Which
Flare.
is so that's why there's like a lot of extra flair, which is why it's not just a few dollars more, it's $50 more, which is pretty cool. So it comes with some extras. But then again, that is not the cheapest constellation, like we were saying before. The cheapest constellation is the Taurus, which the base is $150. So if you're just looking to get yourself a constellation for AC 2.0 or Star Citizen 2.0 drop, the Taurus is pretty affordable.
I would say though, if you're going to buy a ship for 2.0, probably best not to. I mean, try and rent it or whatever. I mean, you're going to have
always rent first, buy later, in my opinion.
Yeah. When you're spending
as
over
long as you have a
$100,
game package.
Yeah, you want a game package. As long as if you're spending over $100, you need to make sure you're in love with that ship before you buy it.
Absolutely. Totally agree. So the overview of the ship, as I kind of just threw it in there, it's modular, it's high powered, and it's just downright iconic looking.
It is
that's
iconic.
on their
It's
website.
exactly
he
iconic.
Even wrote that in there. That exact.
You wrote that in
sentence.
there?
Oh, you did. Anyways.
Well, I just took it straight from the website,
know.
and I was like, "What's the most overview part of this thing?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Copy and paste."
So when we're talking about modular, we're not sure how modular it's going to be yet. So that they haven't really made the systems for the smaller, or for this kind of size ship.
Disco's been maybe quoted saying a few things of like you could potentially have the Aquila head on, or like a cockpit on one of the other ships, and kind of. But
I don't
that's
know if
just
that's possible
maybe,
yet.
and we don't know if that's like actually a thing. Like I heard this from a person who heard this from a person from like, it's not really like confirmed or something.
This is
I
like when
probably
I
should
got
have
the
even
Konami
mentioned.
code from Chris Roberts about getting free ships, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same thing,
Yeah.
right? So its role is different than kind of a lot of the other roles that we've seen, and the role is just multifunction. It can do a bunch of things. Right?
Well, you say multifunction. You were talking about the Andromeda, are we?
Yes.
Directly the Andromeda. So for me, it's more of the combat variant.
Yeah, because it's got the 2 turrets, right?
Yeah, it's got the 2 turrets. It's got all of the missiles that have ever existed in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that parasite ship. It's got that P-52 Merlin. It's got all of the essential combat needs that you'd want. Yeah, the Phoenix is a slightly better combat ship, and it has a hot tub, so you can chill out after combat.
Which I always found so weird. Like,
Loads
why?
of guys chilling out in a hot tub after a battle.
But it's straight up like the most badass of all of them. Like, how does that? It just never made any sense to me. I always thought that the Phoenix would be like the dumbed down version of like an 890 jump. Not the most combat ready, but
Well, it's the Constellation, but it's got all of the best of everything.
Yeah.
It's the idea. So it needs the best power, it needs the best pipes, it needs the best hard points, and that makes it the best combat ship potentially.
Yeah.
So
maybe the hot tub uses up a lot of your power plant, though.
guys, we can't power the hot tub
TV,
shields.
that big
Guys,
TV
we got to
as well.
turn the heat off. We got to turn the heat off on the hot tub so we can fire our weapons.
Well, what's the point? What's the point of being out in space if we don't have
It's
the
like
hot tub ready?
I give up on this battle. Just let them kill me then.
I'm
just
so
turn the heat off
comfortable.
on this thing.
I'm so comfortable right now. I
Being-
don't care about this battle.
Being boarded and just being in the hot tub chilling while they're just walking around the ship.
Listen, what do you want? Help yourselves.
Yeah.
What do I care?
We got loads.
We got drinks, guys. We got drinks. We got a refrigerator on our ship.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I can imagine raiding one of like Clifford's ships, for example, and it being one of the most polite experiences of my life, like him offering brandy or whiskey while robbing him.
Yeah, so moving on to like the stats, the boring stuff about it. And again, this stuff is probably the most subject to change out of any ship that we've done recently, because a lot's changed with the ship. Like even the model that we're looking at right now isn't really how it even looks anymore, right? It's been a little bit more smoothed out and things like that. So the what is it? It's 61 meters long, 80,000 kilograms. Its max crew is 5. Obviously, you can put more people on the ship than 5, but it's got enough. It's got seats
Gameplay
for 5.
for 5.
Yeah, gameplay
That's
for
why
5.
I like to look at these max crew things.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Instead of saying max crew, it's like gameplay for 5. I like that way of putting it. It's pretty good. Its cargo capacity is 134 SCU, and now moving on to the things that are very subject to change. Right, primary engines 4 TR5s, max size TR5, maneuvering thrusters 8 TR3s, max size TR3. Now here's where the things will really change. Right now it says 1 size 6 power plant. Now we know that the component systems are changing, right? So I'm making an assumption saying maybe it's 1 capital sized power plant or multiple medium sized or large or whatever they're calling them. The next size down from cap. Then it also has 4 size 4 just turrets, so gun mounts, and 4 size 1 missile mounts, and 2 size 2 missile mounts. And then another 2 size 4 manned turrets. So that's the one that's on the top and the bottom that we've seen in like the Gamescom demo and stuff.
I think we're assuming the speed's going to be around 150 for its standard combat maneuvering, aren't we?
Something like that.
But it might change depending on.
Oh yeah, I mean it will change and get rebalanced
with the new
definitely.
flight model and stuff as well.
Like with the afterburners, things like that. Who knows what we can get to? It should be interesting, right? So like we can't even. What's cool is we can't even think about it that way anymore, right? Like you remember, like that was one of the things that we'd always talk about right away. Is oh well, how fast does it go? Oh, it goes 240 meters per second. Like
no,
we can't say that anymore. It's pretty cool. It's actually kind of exciting. It's a good thing, right? Head explode.
Yeah.
Head explode. And then another one of those things is it is 1 size 6 shield, but again, it's likely going to change like big time with that.
4 size 3 shields or something.
Or medium or 1 cap size, like who knows. So those are like the really subject to change, right?
Well, I mean that shield thing that's the old system, and I don't think there's any reason they would have kept that in for this ship which is being made. So...
No, they're not going to at all. So what I'm looking at is the stats on the website because we don't have the proper stats for the ship yet.
Yeah.
So like those are the ones that are like who we really don't know, but that's what they're saying now. So we can kind of make a judgment based on that, but not really, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can have educated guests, and we can see
we can make an
spirit of the ship, and
Here's the thing, Board. I'm not very educated, so.
Oh, twerk.
What am I supposed to do?
Shoot me in the face at computer games. Good job.
I can do that. I've already done it.
Good job.
So then additional equipment. It comes with a jump drive. Also, it comes with that P-52 Merlin, which is pretty cool, right?
See, I think that's really awesome. Having that kind of... You're going to get some amazing emerging gameplay from having that Parasite ship.
Yes. I thought that was one of the coolest ideas out of probably any of the ships is just
I hope
that.
we start to see more ships with the Parasite thing going on with it, right? Like, the Caterpillar kind of has it with the removable,
cockpit
kind of thing. But it would be cool to sort of see a couple other ships of the, you could call them Constellation class, I guess, for now, where it is a larger ship with a little boat. I mean, the 890 Jump is like that as well. It has the 85X, right? So, I mean, it is a cool mechanic, and would be awesome to see.
One of the major things I see, well, one of the things I want to see is these Merlins, these P-72s, these X-85s. How many will do look out, sir, kind of things, where they go, there's a torpedo incoming, it's gonna kill my parent ship, I've got to take the torpedo. And just hit the torpedo. Just run into that torpedo. That's what I'm looking for.
You have to assume we're going to be able to shoot missiles down at some point, right?
Yeah, I mean, torpedoes I think you'll probably be able to shoot down.
Yeah, I hope we can. I think that would be fun gameplay.
Well, they were talking about point defense systems, and in fact, the Phoenix and the 890 Jump, for example, do have... Yeah, they have those point defense systems. So we're assuming that shoots down larger missiles and torpedoes. But I'm just interested if you know you can't shoot it down in time, will people take the hit? Take the hit.
Save that UEC. I think it would be pretty funny.
UEC.
Right?
It's all about the UEC, dude.
It is. It's all about the Benjamins. So it comes with the Revel in York hangar. So it's sort of hangar ready because we have it hangar ready in terms of we can see the old Constellation, but we haven't seen the new one in our hangar yet. Yeah, like we have it in our hangar. You can walk around what it sort of looks like. And then it's not flyable, but it's kind of flyable. It's flyable in the Star Citizen offices at the moment, but
we've
almost flyable for us. Yeah, like we've seen it fly. We just haven't gotten it in our hands just yet, which is like, come on. So that was actually, for me, the first multi-crew ship I ever bought, which was pretty cool. And it was actually bought for me by my girlfriend. Little did she know. She was making a huge mistake.
Yeah, started that addiction, bro.
She made a huge mistake. So yeah, maybe I should. Yeah. But yeah, so it should be done soon. So I don't know about you guys, but this is the ship that I'm the most excited for Star Citizen 2.0. I know a lot of people are excited for the Retaliator, and
it's them fighting. Yeah. I'm hoping they've made them almost even matched. And
yeah, I think that would be cool.
Oh, so cool.
I can't imagine they will be, because
No, I
Retaliator
can't even.
seems more combat ready to go.
Also,
but-
for me, the Retaliator can take out something like a Constellation because it's got those torpedoes.
Yeah.
And unless you can shoot them down, or unless you can avoid them easily, then the Constellation is just going to get hit by
How do you think
torpedoes.
countermeasures are going to work on these big ships? Because right now, how countermeasuring kind of works and avoiding missiles is, it's still kind of based on you getting out of the way a bit too, right?
Would you be able to countermeasure torpedoes when they lock on? Don't they lock on a different way? Wouldn't they like be
Who
laser
knows?
painted or something? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who
Because at the
knows?
moment, torpedoes are just CS missiles, right?
Yeah,
You don't have
yeah.
to like. They're not laser guided. They're not like that. At the
really
moment.
big chaff. You need a huge chaff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's something that like I don't think anyone's really brought up or thought about. But how are we gonna countermeasure on these large, slower ships? It should be pretty interesting.
Otherwise, the Retaliator is just going to fall along and just go 4 torpedoes, lol,
Yeah.
and just ride off, get
Yeah.
rearmed, and then do it again.
Yeah.
With
So
some Benny
I think
Hill
it's pretty
music
cool.
playing in the background.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, I think that's about it for
Yep.
the Constellation, which can't wait, man. Can't wait.
it is a pretty cool ship. It is one of the
Pretty neat.
what I like to call showcase ships that CIG likes to have. Right,
Mhm.
it's like up there with the Aurora, the Constellation, the Idris.
It's definitely iconic. I mean, when you look at it, it shows me Star Citizen. It's what the
Yeah, I
game's
mean,
about. Kind of.
for years, it was the ship that they kind of demoed what multi-crew would be for the longest time, right? And then they kind of turned the Retaliator into that a bit. But that ship was kind of since 2012 until up until fairly recently was the multi-crew ship that they kind of were like, you guys want multi-crew? This is it right here, right? So you use the Aurora for chaff, someone said in chat.
So just another
Just
reminder,
shoot an
guys.
Aurora out.
If you have any questions, exclamation point question in chat, just fill out that little form, and we will take a look and answer your questions here. And we're gonna jump into that, unless you guys have anything else you want to cover or dance around.
No, I think I'm ready.
Take my
I'm ready for some
taking my
questions.
shoes off, Saurus. Woo!
Sorry, we're
Star
experiencing
Citizen
some
dance.
technical difficulties.
Start picking the cherries for the Star Citizen dance.
All
Picking the
right.
cherries.
All right. All right. So once again, guys, don't put your questions in chat. Put them in through that form because I'm not looking at chat and I'm the one reading the questions. So that's how it goes. This is my rules.
Yeah, it's
Doyle
just-
rules.
We got him in a sweet little
Okay.
thing.
So NK Sharp asked Twerk17 a question. Are you ready for this?
No.
Twerk, why are you so good at losing bets? Do you still think you can win your bet with Soros over the 100 mil by the end of the year?
So when it hit 94, I was like, all right, I gotta do some math here. We got 2 months. We got AC2 or Star Citizen 2.0 drop, and the Crucible. I don't think they'll drop anything else for sale.
Potential
Like
FPS,
anniversary sale, obviously, right?
Potential Star Marine.
No, not before the end of the year. Yeah, it's gonna be like I think it's gonna come down to like days. To be
Also,
honest.
also,
But I still
think-
think I'm gonna win.
I think 100 million before end of year as well. I agree with you, Twerk.
Shut your mouth.
you agree
Or
with me.
Saurus.
Yeah.
What? Whoever. I don't care.
Shut your mouth.
You both look the same to me.
Oh well, we're gonna look different if I lose.
Yeah, we're gonna look
you know.
real
Gonna look
different.
real different if I lose.
Yeah,
So just so you guys know, if you're new,
yeah,
me and Soros made a bet on this podcast
multiple
that
bets.
if multiple bets, I've lost one already. Thanks for the purple shirt, by the way. That was your doing. The
I wanted to reflect the other bets coming up. That's all.
yeah. So basically, we made a bet that by the end of the year, I said that Star Citizen won't hit 100 million. He said it will, and whoever loses has to dress up like a girl, makeup, hair, the works, and it's No Shave November, so yeah. The full-on beard's going to happen. Or maybe
So-
just like handlebar mustache. We'll see.
Thank you, NK Sharp, for the question.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the first question we've ever read from NK Sharp on this podcast, by the way.
We probably filtered a lot of them out if he has
Yeah.
posted them.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Razzle
He's posted
Hanut
plenty.
asks all of us, what do you think? How much money will they have until Star Citizen releases? And I think that you're trying to ask is how much money have they raised by the time Star Citizen releases?
Yeah. I think that's how I'm reading it as well. That's a tough one.
I don't know.
I think
150.
150.
Yeah, I think 150 as well.
Yeah.
I think that's an educated guess. I think that's probably about right.
150 plus. I think.
This guy.
151,
151, Bob. 151, Bob.
151. 0001.
420, Bob.
Oh, I hate you so much.
69, Bob. Yeah, so I mean that's the closest thing I think we can guess. We still don't know how far out that is. If that's a year, 2 years out. If it's 2 years out and there's still like at what point do they stop fundraising for it and start selling it, right? Because that's what the big thing is for that. All this money right now is going towards development. None of this is going towards profits yet. At a certain point, it will stop going towards development and will start going into profit. And where that line is going to be is sort of unknown at this point in time.
Yeah.
Sideslide asks all of us, which manufacturer would you prefer to build the starter mining ship if or when it gets announced?
Wow, that's a good question. I guess that one's kind of good for me. So the current mining ship is Robert Space Industries, right? So it would not be them.
Really?
I don't think so.
I think they would. They'd use some of the technology in their smaller ships.
Maybe, but I think they have enough RSI ships for the moment.
Oh, definitely in that case, yes. But I mean...
But they don't really care about that because they've thrown like 1 million Aegis ships and MISC ships at us, right?
For me, I think Drake.
I think Drake might not be a bad choice. But that would imply that they'd be making a new ship for Drake.
Drake has too many of the smaller ships, though, I think.
But it makes sense for them to make it. That would be for like a militia mining ship to be able to support fringe colonies. For me, that makes sense.
I think RSI or Drake.
The RSI would be good as well.
Or maybe, what if it's an alien ship? What if it's a Xi'an or a Banu ship? That could totally be possible. It doesn't have to be a human manufacturer.
I don't know enough about the
Banu are traders.
Yeah, but are they miners, is what I mean. Would they just trade for their resources, or would they mine them and then trade them?
I mean, don't you think the two are sort of intertwined?
They are intertwined. Yes, they are, very much so. Okay. I mean, that's a definite possibility. But humans need to have a mining starter ship, surely.
Yeah. So I would say RSI. Yeah. At first I didn't think so, and then Source kind of changed my mind.
So yeah, Sideside, thank you for the question. Proxys571, also known as Resident Chatbot, asks, how neat is that Exian Scout?
Melonbot. Pretty neat.
It is pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
Question asked and answered. Jack47 asks, this question concerns a star map. Bookmarks do not save for me after leaving the star map and returning to it. If I found that other citizens have the same issue, but not all that widespread with my answers. Maybe this is by design till the baby PU or until the baby PU goes live, or maybe it's just something on my end on the Google Chrome browser.
Is that a question, or just him?
Question. I think that's
venting
I think he wants to know what to do.
Map.
Well, I think he wants to know what to do. So, Jacket47, what you want to do is you want to go to the Robert Space Industries website, and then you want to go up to, where is it? Community. You wave over Community, and then you click on the Issue Council under Tools, and then you actually report that bug there. So, yeah. You give that bug to them, and then they'll address it and fix it.
I'm not sure if there's a place to...
I don't know if there's a place for the website. So you might be able to put it on the forums, and usually I've noticed the guys from, where is it, Turbulent?
Yeah.
That are doing that. They answer those questions on the forums a lot. So we'll move on to the next question, and then I'll actually kind of look and see if there's a place on the forums where you can actually post something like that, and then I'll post it in chat.
Now I'm gonna butcher this name. so I apologize. Sal Shungle 49.
There it is.
Xi'an Scout 49.
Yeah. As all of us, do you know anything about the upcoming third birthday or the third anniversary of Star Citizen, or is nothing known yet? Thanks a lot, and greetings from Germany.
It's from the 19th of this month, November, to the 26th. That's going to be the anniversary week. We're getting a live stream on the 19th. We're getting a new ship of some kind on sale, which we're assuming is the Crucible.
A lot of limited ships are going to be going on sale.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're going to get a nice presentation again. We've been treated to a lot of nice presentations over the last few months. But we should get another cool presentation. What else are we getting? 20% off all the physical merchandise.
Yep, except for game packages. Physical games, yeah.
There is more. 3 years insurance, I think, on all ships.
There'll be some surprises in store as well, I'm sure. You know, last year, to give you an example, the Javelin went on sale. They didn't announce that ahead of time.
It's likely that they'll always on the anniversary sales. I think that they've had a small amount of Idris as well go on sale.
Idrises will go on sale. They had the Aurora game packages for $20.
Oh yeah, so we got really cheap game packages last year, so they might do that again.
Yeah, it's
who
a possibility. But yeah, thank you for the question and greetings from the great Canada. Fadern asks, what do you think of the Avenger variants, specifically the E-War module? What kind of roles do you think the new redone Avenger could be used for versus what people think now?
So that's the Warlock, isn't it?
That's the Warlock version that he's speaking of with the E-War. And that's really, there's two variants we are aware of. One is the two-seater deal, and then one is the Warlock. And there could be more variants than that. The Warlock, I mean, is exactly what you mentioned. It's going to be E-War stuff. Right now, you don't really get much E-War things happening in Arena Commander just because the maps are too small and the way that it's set up and the way that it works. I think we're going to start to see more of that sort of gameplay coming in with Arena Commander 2.0. I mean, we know the Herald's right there. It's getting ready. It'll be ready probably before the Avenger Warlock is. And the Avenger right now is used basically as a straight-up combat ship, and that's it. It's not using it as a bounty hunting or...
But I think the E-War between ships, so the Sentinel, the Warlock, the Herald, and then on the capital ships, all of those kind of E-War performances and what they can do are going to be totally different. I don't think it's even on the same ballpark. I literally think that the E-War from the Vanguard is going to be very much literally disabling ships, whereas the E-War on the Warlock might be to confuse people, to detonate missiles around you, send missiles off on a different course, that sort of stuff.
I hope it's like that.
I think it's going to be totally different for each of these different ships. That would be my feeling on E-War, because they fit totally different roles. So it can't just be E-War as a game mechanic. It has to be this specializes in this does this. That's what I'd think anyway.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about combat, but in the end of the day, they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that changes with the flight model.
It's still space and rocks. It's still space
and rocks. Just space and rocks.
Yeah, I think their plan is to change it with the flight model, though, even with the flying.
Yeah.
Ships should feel different.
Well, it's a waiting game, right? Like, you have to remember a lot of this is speculation from us, especially on these things that we don't know quite sure how the mechanics are going to actually play out.
Well, they said it in that video that that's what they want to happen. We'll see if it actually comes through.
So Vital Life asks all of us, will you be able to buy ship when the game releases? No. What will you be able to buy when the game releases? Game packages. Sorry if this is a stupid question, been following Star Citizen for a few days. It's not a stupid question. It's something that's very can be confused quite a bit. So I'm gonna break it down here. When you pledge for the game, they give you a reward of one of the ships, and that's sort of how
you notice how you
works.
didn't say buy the game. He said pledge for towards the game.
Yeah, so that money is going towards the development and all of this other stuff, whatever. Now, what is going to happen is when the game releases, and this is something they've said multiple times, that you will no longer be able to purchase individual ships. From what I understand, it'll be something like you'll buy a game package, which will be Star Citizen, Squadron 42, or maybe separate. And maybe one of those packages will come with a starter ship, but you won't be able to go much further than, we know there's Tier 1 and Tier 2 starter ships. So I don't imagine there'd be any packages beyond that. But they may include those smaller ships in there. So if you want any of the bigger ships to start with, then you'd have to pledge the game, and that's sort of your reward for pledging early and helping support the game into development, like what it is. But they have said that they do not want to sell ships individually as a thing once the game comes out. They're going to sell the currency up to a certain amount to help pay for servers and everything else, and they will see what else, if anything, they need to do to sort of continue raising funds. But selling ships is something they've been pretty straightforward about and saying that they're not going to be doing. They're not going to be selling anything that's going to give you a huge advantage like that.
Yeah, and I mean, they're allowing you to buy the UEC to get the ships. I have a feeling that they might change their tune on that at some point, but who knows? Maybe it'll only be entry-level ships. I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, is if you look at what the caps are now, $25,000 UEC with a 150,000 UEC cap for the month or whatever isn't going to be buying you a ship. Not any of the bigger ones, anyways. Not anything that
you would say is pay to win or whatever, right?
mean, don't they just want to generate like $5 per person per month?
Yeah, pretty
Once
much.
the game comes, really? That's all they want to generate.
They've also said they don't want to do subscriptions, and I know some people are against that. I'd be totally okay with it, personally.
I would be fine with the subscription model, yeah.
I think they are doing subscriptions, but not for people have to subscribe for in-game.
Yeah, it's not to... You won't be out of the game if your subscription runs out. It's just like your choice, maybe?
Yeah, but it's not going to give you anything in-game. It's going to be like the subscriptions we currently have.
Yeah.
And it might give you aesthetic stuff, but nothing to improve your game.
Maybe it'll continue the community outreach, just as it is now. Maybe they'll continue to do that. So, Disco Lando will still... I'm assuming that he would have a job throughout the entire process because he's kind of one of the main guys. But that team of the people making the videos, so what is his name? Jason or something like that? Justin?
The Empire Report.
Those guys will have jobs still.
If they do a in-character Empire Report about actual in-game news, I would watch that.
Yeah.
I know it might be a little cringeworthy for some people, but I love in-character stuff if it's done properly. And if they are literally reporting on the news that's happened, fights that I've been in, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Vital Life. Yeah, I know.
It's actually a pretty interesting one.
Don't worry about asking any questions that you think are well known or whatever. If that's why we're here, we're here to answer those.
And look at how long we talked after that question, right?
So purple-headed, as all of us, if you had to choose, what would you say would be the only space Pinor you would fly? If you could only fly one ship at a time, and why? What?
I don't know what
a spaceship, I guess.
Is that referencing something? I don't know.
I guess.
Maybe. But let's call it a spaceship. So go ahead, guys. If you had one ship that you would want to fly, what would it be? Caterpillar?
Do you know what Oh God.
I don't know what a peener is. I'm assuming it means...
It's like what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but...
Yeah. Good job on the people vetting these questions.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to fly a space penis, it would be the Constellation Aquila. It looks just like a wiener. So there you go. It's the most penis-looking of all the ships.
I'm the Retribution.
Yeah.
I mean...
A lot of the ships are very flaccid shaped.
I suppose my penis looks more like the Xi'an Scouts. Especially the way it unfolds.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for any woman you've ever come across.
Yeah, so are they. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Wow. All right. Tommy Train asks, BoredGamer.
Oh.
As a big-time YouTuber, don't... Listen, first off, don't...
His head is already huge!
Look at him.
Fuck you.
Look at him.
Go on, carry on.
Listen, he's like getting a drink and ready for the question.
As a big-time YouTuber, as a YouTuber transitioning to live broadcasting, I don't know if he's actually transitioning to live broadcasting. I think we just forced him to come on the show.
Isn't this what this is? Yeah.
What drew you to Redacted? I guess both the podcast and...
So this is a very good question. Let me answer that in the medium of song.
Oh. Let me just take my headphones off for a second. Okay, go ahead.
No, so with Redacted, I wanted to get involved with a podcast that was suitable for my time. I really like working with Twerk and Saurus, and we've built a brand. We've built a neutral brand now with Redacted, so that lots of Star Citizen community, content providers, and fans can all get involved without the fear of extreme elitism. And I really like that. I feel like I can actually have an impact on something, an impact on Star Citizen, and an impact on where now lots of streamers and YouTubers' channels go, because I'm part of a larger community, and that's what Redacted has partly allowed me to do. Now, one of the things that I really want to get through to people actually is that anyone that wants to put effort in can do YouTube and Twitch. It takes effort. You have to have a little bit of skill and want, but I mean, especially at this level with Star Citizen, if you want to stream Star Citizen, yeah, it's quite hard with 1.3, but it won't always be that hard. But Redacted can help you if you're genuinely wanting to stream, or you want help with your stream, or you want help with your YouTube. We are genuinely there to try and help, try promote Star Citizen, try promote you, and to get more community exposure for everyone involved with Star Citizen before some big streamers, before some big YouTubers decide that they can make money out of it and come along and do stuff. In my opinion, half-assed, but it might not be. Some of them are going to be great content, but I just worry that I'm not going to be able to do a Star Citizen channel anymore. It's not that at all.
No.
It's not that at all.
No.
But I want people to get involved. And I love the fact that people are with Redacted. So
yeah, and I think the kind of goal that we have is to benefit the game more than ourselves, right? I think we all will benefit as a result, but if we all work together and we all have a good time, then...
Well, that's it. Everyone working together, everyone does better.
Yeah, exactly.
The
audience,
and I think the content providers, everyone.
And that's the goal that we've had from day one with doing this. So.
Yep.
I
wish I had a microphone to drop right now.
Yeah. Boom! Cocaine's a hell of a drug as well.
It is.
Yeah. Parky 25, and thanks for the question, Tommy Train. Parky 25 asks, "Hey peeps, good show as always. Are they going to try and have an Eve-like market run by players for players?"
No,
not at all. So go ahead. I'll let you go.
Well, there's going to be 9 NPCs to every one human player, basically. That market is basically a mixture of NPC and Games Master controlled, so that nothing goes out of control. And because of that,
from one extreme to another.
Yeah, yes, and it's my understanding that EVE players are able to make the market go from one extreme to the other in their favor or in other people's disfavor. That's like the
entirely
game, right?
player-led. I think it's entirely player-led.
Yeah.
EVE market. Whereas this is not.
And that was one of the things that really drew me to this game, because I've played games where the market is player-led and the market gets shitty really quick, and a lot of the time
exploited to hell.
And it gets exploited. Yeah.
With this, we're not the only players in the universe. There's 9 NPCs for every one of us. They're going to be maintaining a market, and there's going to be lots of missions and stuff going on as well. So I do think it will be fun, and I do think players will have an impact, but not a huge one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What they said. Ben GT9 asks us, when will Squadron 42 be removed from the game packages? In the future. In the year 2000.
They're currently removed from the Mustang
Alpha?
Nope, the red ones.
Omega?
The Mustang Omegas. Yeah, they're currently removed from the Mustang Omegas, so and they're really kind of making these packages. They're saying, what do you guys think? Maybe like spring of 2016, where we're probably going to be a little close.
When it's getting
Squadron
closer
42?
to, Squadron 42, I think. But in the future, if you want Squadron 42 included in one of your packages, make sure that you have a package that has it included right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you'll be able you know, if financial issues aren't, like, you don't have any financial issues and you can afford to spend, you know, an extra 20, 30, 40, $50, whatever they decide to spend on it, then whatever. If you feel like wait. But if you know, are kind of tight on money and you want to get the most out of your game packages now, I always suggest that people picking up one of the cheaper game packages, because you're going to get the most for your money, right? You get all the alpha, all the beta, everything for $45. So both game releases, everything. So I always suggest that.
Zeister187 asks, on the topic of torpedoes, what do you think about the possibility of seeing operator-controlled deployable weapons? Think modern-day drones. Good idea or bad idea? High possibility or low possibility?
I like the idea. I think that's fucking
I
cool.
love the idea. High possibility or low possibility is the question. Is
Like
the
you're
real
thinking
question.
like a missile or a torpedo with a camera on it that you can basically fly to the target.
I mean, I can't imagine it would be too difficult for them to do, right? They already have missile cam, so they can kind of just allow you to be in missile cam, right? Or, I mean, it'll basically just be like flying a small ship.
Yeah.
Very
I don't know. I
fast.
think it would be cool. I don't know. I think medium possibility.
I think that's a high possibility for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
maybe
a
after
sort of thing.
release, an after release thing. That would be a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Vital Life is a little bit confused, so I just want to make sure this is correct here. You pledge for a ship right now, and you'll get into alpha and beta, and when the game comes out, you have to buy it. No.
You
So
have it, the game.
Once you've pledged for the game right now, that's it. You do not need to purchase anything else. You'll have the game when it comes out.
You just need a game package. It must
make
say in
sure-
your package,
Yep.
Yeah,
Star Citizen digital download.
that's right.
Always click the more info when you're looking at a ship, and it'll say Star Citizen digital download will be Star Citizen. Squadron 42 digital download will be the single player campaign, which is called Squadron 42. So always look for those two things, and then you also see like how much in-game currency you'll get when the game starts, as well as how much insurance, how long they'll pay for your insurance before you have to start paying for it yourself, and what hangar it comes with.
Until the
and things
game
like
actually comes out, that insurance. You don't have to
Yeah,
worry
so-
about insurance until they literally scream at you, worry about insurance
that.
now,
Yeah,
which will be
and
when
we're
the
not
game's
even gonna talk about it because we've talked about it at length a million times. Don't worry about it. It's not a thing yet, and it's not going to be a big deal when it comes out.
And
End of
And
story.
alpha and beta isn't a thing anymore. So you don't have to worry about that. Game package, all you need.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Set Metal asks the last question we have here. How do you think the Rex will be divided in multi-crew gameplay? Some people will be doing nothing, just riding along for a ride.
So in Arena Commander 2.0, when it ever comes out, I think that the winning team will get an amount of rec divided between the crewmen.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So the ship will probably earn the wreck, and then it will get divided equally between the crewmen. That's how I'd assume
In
it would be
Persistent
done.
Universe, you don't earn money for just killing people and
No.
just doing stuff. That's
Yeah.
not how that works.
So,
Well, there's
well,
missions.
There's missions, but you would have to divide that, or you would have to claim those missions each for yourself. So I would imagine they would do something like Twerk 17 gives you a mission in game that says, "Hey, you need to go collect this part."
Salt.
Right? So you got to go collect this part. So you go there as a crew. You each collect the same part or the same amount of salt or whatever each, and then you bring that and then you turn that all in. So I think that's how they'll do that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they know exactly how they're going to do it yet.
They have to.
Well,
They have to.
Not in the first drop.
Not
'Cause
in the first drop.
They were umming and ahhing about rec and stuff. So I'm not sure if it's going to have any way of generating rec in the
I think it'll
first
just
drop.
have missions and be like, "You did a good job."
Oh, and we have to play Arena Commander to earn rec if we want to keep using it.
That's correct. I think that's
Okay.
I think for the first drop that will be correct.
Okay, and then missions just increase our ability to do things in the persistent universe.
Well, I think
so, like that one. Well, the comm array.
Yeah,
It
but
gives
they're
you the
not-
ability to go to places.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not going to be persistent though. You're going to be able to do missions, and they're going to be not entirely linear, but semi-linear. And
I think you're going to be
but
looking
you
at
log off,
missions
log.
more as contracts.
yeah,
Yeah, is sort of a layman's way of putting it. But yeah, that wraps up everything for this episode of Redacted. why don't you guys tell me, number one, where can everybody find you, BoredGamer?
They can find me pretty much at any form of social media at BoredGamer UK. But mainly, it's all about my YouTubes, and it's just youtube.com/BoredGamer UK. Obviously, you can find me on Redacted.tv as well. That's where I kind of live forum-wise. We also, for Redacted, have a new Twitter account, which is, you can search for Redacted and find us, but watch_Redacted at the moment. We've got a YouTube for Redacted as well now, which is Redacted. You'll be able to find us. We'll put them all up on the videos and stuff as well. But it's all about the Redacted. We're all merging together. So you'll be able to find me there.
Yeah. So definitely make sure you go and follow BoredGamer on the YouTubes and Twerk17. Other than this Twitch channel that we're on right now, which everybody should be following, by the way. Oh my God, we totally just did. That's okay. We'll do a double next week.
We'll do a double next week, but we'll look. How about this? We will look after the podcast for MVP, and we will decide it.
Yep.
And then we'll announce it next week as well as the week after. Okay. So sorry, guys.
So we totally forgot. And yeah. So other than this, where else can people find you?
So you can find me on YouTube at Twerk17 Gaming and on Twitter at Twerk17 Gaming. The YouTube guys, I'm so sorry. My air conditioner broke today, and I needed to get a YouTube video done for today, and I could not do it, and I'm so sorry. And it's gonna have to wait until next week, most likely, which I'm so upset about because the series was doing really good, the system guide series. So I really wanted to get that video out, and I'm really bummed out about it. But that's pretty much what's going on. And as far as what I'm doing this week, I'm definitely gonna be playing some more Anno 2205 and a lot more Star Citizen as well. So, and some giveaways speckled in there throughout the week.
Right on. And for myself, you can find me on twitch.tv/WTFosaurus, twitter.com. I'm always blowing up that Twitter.
Yeah, you really are. You're
WTFosaurus. And I'm always on Discord and on the forums, so you can find me at redacted.tv as well. So I'll just post those links there in chat. You can find me at all of those places. If you have not made your way over to redacted.tv yet, please do yourself a favor and get over there, start interacting with all kinds of cool, awesome content creators and other people in the Star Citizen community. It is a really awesome place, and we all hang out in Discord and just talk about Star Citizen and do all kinds of cool stuff. And there's nothing, it's not like, oh, we're content creators and you guys are viewers. We all sort of look at everybody on an equal playing field and hanging out and just talking about stuff like that. So if you haven't done that yet, definitely drop in and say hello.